online. This is Radio Guy. Always online. This is Radio Guy.
One more time, yes, he ain't bad. Kojo, yes, he ain't bad. Kojo, yes, he ain't bad. À cette fois, mais c'est, yes, he ain't bad. Yes, he ain't bad. Charles, Missy, yes, he ain't bad. Cabanese, c'est quoi?
Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude? For all the many things, you've done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. See, I call you Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my bad. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. Lord, you're my everything. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my bad. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. Lord, you're my everything. Uya matinyina. Uya matinyina. Uya matinyina. Oh, uya matinyina. Yeah, so uya matinyina. Uya matinyina. I call you Jireh, say. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my bad. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are my everything. Yeah. Are you ready, everybody? All right, listen. William Ingram, come here. 1, 2, 3. I can breathe without you, sir. I can breathe without you. I can move without you, Lord. I can move without you. Who am I without you? Who am I without
Danny Beats Classic.
Repent, oh repent, come consent here, repent. Yes, I done grua, bon sanje muana, oh, oba, hey. Repent, oh repent, come here, repent. Yes, I done grua, bon sanje muana, oh, asa, a baby be bum papa na banana, hey, a baby be bum papa na banana, watch, a baby be bum papa na banana. Yes, Uganda one Kobia. Bonsam Chemuana. A baby bebo papa banana. Hey, a baby bebo papa banana. Hey, hey, a baby bebo papa banana. Yes, Uganda one Kobia. Bonsam Chemuana. Sasa. Dia sorry a chichiru. So they be a bonnet. My brother repent, oh Jesus, they come. Would you do kuachichiruti? Wakuma mubone. My sister repent, oh Jesus, they come. You don't go to heaven. Hey, don't blame Jesus. If you don't go to heaven, don't blame Jesus. If you don't go to heaven, don't blame Jesus. Don't blame Jesus. Blame your life, oh repent, oh repent. Come consent here, repent. Yes, I done grua. Bonsam Chemuana. Oh, oba, hey. Repent, oh repent. Come here, repent. Yes, I done grua. Bonsam Chemuana. And son of Bakosru and a Jesu a giant chronobo. A drum mambo. I'm Wayani with this. Azambe Bilebe. A Siaman Qua Christus. Utrobo Jonya Mesum. Unim Papa Ujaya Bondi. Saying Abba. Repent, oh repent. Come consent here, repent. Yes, I done grua. Bonsam Chemuana. Oh, oba. Hey. Repent, oh repent. Kupon here, repent. Yes, I done grua. Bonsam Chemuana. Asa. A baby be bum papa na banana. Hey. A baby be bum papa na banana. Watch. A baby be bum papa na banana. Yes, you gonna want to be
Always online. This is Radio Guy.
a baby be bum papa na banana. Hey. A baby be bum papa na banana. Hey, hey. A baby be bum papa na banana. Yes, you gonna want to be a. What's up, Chemuana? Enjoy.
you every information, every entertainment to help you start your morning, right? Time check is exactly 8 a.m. 22nd of the month of September 2020, 2020, as some people will call it. Good morning to you, wherever you are tuning in. This is Radio Guy Online, and this is the Rise Up Morning Show. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We are live on Facebook. If you are listening via link or via app, just log on to Facebook and check in with us. This morning, we have a couple of things to run you through. But before that, I want to say a big shout out to everybody tuning in right now, and also to my very own friend Azaria, who is in Kaswa, and also Kwikuti, who is in Tema, tune in right now listening to us. My name is Judith Emefa Gbafa, and of course I am going to be with you from now till 10 a.m. It is going to be good music as usual. You are assured of that. Then also current news, and of course on our very first segment that will follow up after our motivation would be our newspaper review. But before we get into any serious issue, let me ask you this question: do you have anybody that you can really tell the truth if he or she should ask you, how are you doing? How are you doing is something that everybody says, and apparently I'm fine, I'm doing well is the normal answer that everybody gives. So we are kind of people say, oh, it's saying or say yeah. But do you have that particular person that you would be able to tell that I am not well, I am not fine, I am sad, I'm in pain? Do you have that one person? Well, everybody needs somebody like that. You need somebody like that. I need somebody like that. Life throws us a lot of stones, that there is this one person that, so to me busa was saying I'm a dog for to say to bit me pay more catch and say me dog for munyo, and I say me home to me, or I'm in pain, or I'm not happy, or things are not going on well. Let us stop normalizing the fact that when everybody asks us how we are doing, we just say I'm fine even when you are not fine indoors. Even when you are fine and you are not even doing well, you always say that, oh, I am fine. Even when you are in pain, the only thing you can say is I am doing well. There is this one person in our lives that we should be able to open up to. Well, some people say that but there is that one person that always God uses to comfort us. It could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could even be your child, it could be a good friend of yours, it could be an acquaintance, it could be a work colleague, or it could be anybody that is really close to you. Now, many a times we feel like we letting people know what we are going through can be a yardstick for them to ridiculous or use it against us at a point in time. But we are not trying to live a perfect life. We are only trying to live a life that is full of joy and a life that is full of success. And I know that through that journey, it is really hard. It is really frustrating. It's really energy draining. So let us look at some of the things that are energy draining in our lives. This morning, I woke up with some sort of, I would say, bad energy, but I realized that there are a couple of things that I was doing that was making me feel that way. We all do it at a point in time. We don't wake up 24/7 with a good heart. There are times that we wake up with a heavy heart. There are times that we wake up with no love in our heart. There are times that we wake up and things are not just going our way. But the thing is, there are certain things that you are doing that is bringing you a lot of negativity. These things I call energy draining factors. Well, you might not know, but after sharing them with you, you would be able to differentiate on good energy and bad energy, and how you can make good energy your way out every morning. I'm not saying that if you're having a bad energy right now, it's abnormal. It's quite normal. But we are all looking for success. We're all looking for joy. And anything that will bring you joy, I promise I will share with you here. So some of these energy draining things are overthinking. Well, there are some category of people that call themselves overthinkers. There are. I have seen a couple of articles going on, a couple of memes that goes on saying that I am an overthinker, I'm an overthinker, I'm an overthinker. But truly, overthinking has much more negatives than positives. If you are someone that overthinks, you will realize that you doubt everybody around you. So because of that, you would not even be able to tell if there is this particular friend that is going through pain, or a friend of yours need genuine help. So if you are an overthinker, it drains your energy. You are always trying to get into the minds of people. You are always trying to find out whether somebody is telling you the truth or not. Overthinking just drains your energy. Another one that got me thinking was living in the past. The past is the past, and many times on the morning show we have discussed how to retain yourself, how to get over something, how to not live in your past. But in a way, we tend to live in the past in our minds. Our minds are always the first prison that we can stay in first. So you always live in a prison in your mind because you are living in the past. Ask yourself, can I do anything about it? If yes, do. If no, then you can't do anything about it. Whatever happened in your past, you can obviously not do anything about it. You know, we fail to see some of the good things that do happen to us, or that has happened to us, because we think that things didn't go our way. This thing was supposed to go this particular way, and all that. It is absolutely normal. Yesterday, I was reading about a couple of American musicians who hate some of the songs that they have written and released themselves that apparently their fans do love. That should tell us that you don't always do things that you love. So if you are living in the past, you tend to drain your energy. You tend not to have joy. You tend always to be thinking about something you have no power over, no matter what. No matter what, you can never go back in time and change whatever happened in the past. It might take time to process it. It might take time for you to get over it. But it doesn't mean you should keep living in the past. Negative people are also a factor for your energy to be drained. We live around negative people who don't encourage you whatsoever, people who make you feel as if there is something wrong with you, people who make you feel as if you are not enough, people who make you feel as if no matter what you are doing, there is no positivity whatsoever that comes with it. People who don't accept you for who you are, people who fail to help you when you need that help, people who fail to understand the struggles you are going through, people who fail to listen to your problem when you need that listening ear, and people who fail to give you that pat at the back of your shoulder to tell you that everything is going to be okay. We all have one particular friend who always doubt us when you want to do something. That particular friend who will always tell us that, oh, it is okay, yes, I support you, but deep down within, you know that that person doesn't really love you. Then I ask, what is the essence of you being around such a person? Negative people can whatsoever bring you anything positive because they are full of negativity. It doesn't mean that they are bad people, but it is because that is how they do see you. So if you do find yourself constantly living around people who are negative, there is no way you are going to get good energy. They are going to drain your energy because you are going to live every single day to prove them wrong, and that is not right. One stealer of joy or one thief of joy is the fact that you live to please people. You live to prove people wrong. There is no joy whatsoever in it. In pursuing joy in life, there are a lot of things that you would do to shock your own self and to shock people around you. Another factor is eating junk food. Our health is something that we always talk about, and we always want to we always want to allow ourselves to live. So certain people say that if I go out and I'm having a big bottle of Coke and a burger or a big size pizza all the time or every evening after work, it means I am living good. But that is not it. You not eating appropriately can affect your mood. So somebody may ask, what should I eat then? Well, according to research recently, not all Ghanaian foods are healthy. Every Ghanaian food is a representation of our culture. We love it. We love it because it tastes it tastes delicious. It's yummy and all that. But not every food that looks yummy is good for you. Not every food that looks delicious can actually help you. Junk foods, yes, you can eat junk foods, but once in a while, it shouldn't be a habit. Inculcate the habit of cooking at home and inculcate the habit of tuning your diet into something positive. As usual, drinking a lot of water, having enough sleep, and also eating lots of fruit and vegetables is one of the most paramount thing that you can ever do for yourself. We always say it, eat fruit and vegetables, and you think, we've always heard it. But if you are looking at living by the word, then you have to start practicing it. You just don't have to say it. Oh, eat a lot of fruit and drink a lot of water, but you tell somebody, but you don't do it. Do that because it doesn't drain your energy. If you continue eating junk food, you wouldn't be able to meet some of the requirements that your body needs, and therefore you will never ever be happy. The last one is inconsistent sleeping patterns. Obi wo ho sori anapa, utimi da sa, anadwo na wakohwem sa. There is no consistency in the kind of sleep you do have. People who say that they are people who really have a lot of energy because they know what to do at a particular point in time. So you having inconsistent sleep pattern is another way that you are making yourself unhappy, because sleep is very important. They say that sleep is for the dead, but the truth is sleep is actually for the living, because you need that energy so that you would be able to go through it the next day. So these are the habits that we all do every single day, and it drains our energy. We always keep negative people around you, and you should stop that. You always overthink in every situation, another energy draining situation, living in the past, eating junk food, and having inconsistent sleeping patterns. That is how we start today's edition of the morning show. Up next is the newspaper review. So don't forget that if you are tuned in right now, you can also join us on our Facebook Live. Just log on to Facebook and search at Radio Guy online, and you will see whatever is happening in the studios. I have with me beautiful Eresi and Black Sugar here to help us go through our newspapers daily. And also, we have been nominated for ORTP Awards, and details of that will follow up shortly. Don't forget to leave us a comment, a like, and also share our page anytime you come across our content. My name is Judith Emefa Agbafa, and of course this is the Rise Up Morning Show and on Radio Guy, the newspaper review in a bit.
to Jesus now. Now see, please come. Come ye thirsty one. Come to Jesus now.
Always alert. This is Radio Guy.
Come to Jesus now. Come ye thirst after righteousness. Come to Jesus now. He's the bread of life, the living water. Come to Jesus now. He's the bread of life, the living water. Come to Jesus now. Nana, yes, we are about that. Yes, we are about yes, we are about that. Yes, we are I can't say big saying, eh?
Always alert.
Also, I can't even see
This is Radio Guy.
fancy.
Always alert. This is Radio Guy.
Oh, see, yes, yeah, bad. Yes,
Always alert. This is Radio Guy.
one more time, yes, yeah, bad. Kojo, yes, we are bad. Kojo, yes, we are bad. I said, what? Listen, yes, we are bad. Yes, we are bad. Charles, I'm missing. Yes, we are bad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody, everybody, yes, we are bad. One more time, yes, we are
Just this word, no long thing, Lord, I need your help, and no one else. Just this word, no long thing, Lord, I need your help, and no one else.
Just one word is all I need. A little bit you want a terma. Casa do emphashima. Eradicasa namanya imasu. Just one word is all I need. Your word is a yes and amen. Your words are true, you never lie. Whatever you say shall come to pass. What's every other voice, so yeah. It's an opinion, they can have it. Eradicasa. Now what do you negate? Every other voice, so yeah. It's an opinion, they can have it. Eradicaso, casa. Now what do you was me so Onyame was me so Onyame was can have it. Eradicaso, Casa, now what do it? Demons tremble at your voice, mountains move when you roar, the dead will rise when you speak life. What's every other voice, so yeah, hey, it's an opinion, they can have it. Eradicaso, Casa, now what do you? I refrain when he pang, and so damn in my anne said, me remfi papa, why am here? It's the naked genius. I refrain when he pang, I dear back on a miss Rennie said, me remfi papa, why am here? I said, me boom pom pom, koshamechi, baby, I'm me friendly, baby, I'm ready, or therefore, why now better me on your way? I said, me so stand back and take account, or therefore, wait, yeah, it had to be you. That's right. I said, me boom pom pom, koshamechi, baby, I'm me friendly, baby, I'm ready, or therefore, why now better me on your way? I said, me so stand back and take account, or therefore, wait, yeah, it had to be you. It's money. You held me close, so closer than a brother, so closer than a brother. Truth is, I gave up on myself, 'cause my back was against the wall.
Always online. This is Radio Guy.
But I gave you a call, and you answered my prayer at once. You made a way. But I gave you a call, and you answered my prayer at once. You made a way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Me boom pom pom, koshamechi, baby, I'm me friendly, baby, I'm ready. Or therefore, why now better me on your way? I said, me so stand back and take account, or therefore, wait, yeah, it has to be you. And take money, and it's your way, salute, yeah, money, and I'm into shamo, money, hey, money, money, I got your way, salute.
Things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, I am some bee. Things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, I am some bee. Say, things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, I am some bee. Oh, things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, I am some bee. 15 ways to be successful. 13 ways to make much money, but the one way to make you heaven, reach your mind, don't reach your body.
Always alright. This is Radio
I
Guy.
heard you preach, I must confess, house of peace, was that church or gimba? Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. I tried it.
Always alright. This is Radio Guy. Always alright. This is Radio Guy. This is Radio Guy.
Okay, so thank you so much for being with us. Our daily graphic and our daily guide, and also Ghanaian Times are ready to be reviewed. If you just join us, this is the Rise Up Morning Show on Radio Guy Online. Thank you so much. And of course, on our Facebook Live, you can leave us a message on the comments down below. And of course, we will be able to read them for you. And also, if you come across any of our activities, you can also share them. So share our page, leave us a comment, and also leave us a like or a thumbs up if you are enjoying the show. And of course, as usual, Positive Change Medina sent us a message, and of course he is logged in all the time. And thank you so much. And today on our daily graphic, we have GES recruits 16,500 trained teachers, and we have IMF reviews Ghana's growth forecast. Be circumspect in reportage. Kumasi MCE tells media as country goes to polls. And also at the back page of the daily graphic, we have government urged to develop share value change. But before we get into that, we will let Black Sugar, of course, as usual, he always joins us, handsome as usual and blacker than usual. He's here, and of course he's always a part of it. I mean, when I say blacker than usual, I have a thing for that guy. So blacker than usual. I mean, these are the real African men. They are the ones that no bleaching. You are the ones that campaign the no bleaching thing. Is here with us. Thank you so much for making a date with us all the time. And beautiful Eresi is also here as usual. She never misses a moment with us. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a beautiful morning, and of course, I mean, they make it more beautiful for us. And Black Sugar will be reviewing the daily guide, and Eresi will be reviewing the Ghanaian Times, and of course, I will be taking you through the daily graphic. So Black Sugar, how was your weekend? It was a long weekend.
It was a really long weekend. I think Saturday, Sunday it came with some good rest, but no Monday. So
well, unless you tell me you went out partying.
I didn't go out.
You went out partying?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. I came home late on Sunday. Yes, and I slept a lot yesterday, but it wasn't really that much enough. Okay. For me, I was just locked down home all the time throughout. Just did some cooking, some cleaning, you know, and all that. It was a beautiful day for me. And guy with this morning was saying that Kwame Nkrumah, we are still celebrating him well. That is one of the things that you enjoy if you live a dignified life. People remember you. Even saying Kwame Nkrumah so on 21st September, we are going to remember him. Say I'm Bonnie Dinkra on
that particular day, somebody will say something about him. And of course, yesterday too was a very major one in our health sector, as our nurses and our midwives lay down their tools and they say, we have had enough. Enough is enough. We are also going to be taking a look into that, but please take us through the Ghanaian the demographic.
On the front page of the Daily Guide, we have Mahama Zongo mortuaries spark debate, and this is a story about Mahama claiming to build cemeteries for
the Zongo,
and people are saying,
people in the Zongo, and
people are saying why.
Well, you know, well, it's an inevitable part of life. Death is an inevitable part of life that I think people should start accepting. People should start accepting that we are not going to turn into stones, and it's happening all around us. People are dying all the time. So if amidst the people are making promises, and if you also think that they've made all the promises, this is the only promise they've not made, then why not? Why not make a promise like that?
But I heard someone from his campaign team yesterday saying the former president didn't mean he was going to create a cemetery for like Muslims or something.
Right.
But he was saying that, you know, Muslims have a way of taking care of their dead.
Yes.
He was going to create a
way like that.
Way for them like that.
All right. Okay. So I mean, to come to think of it, how are there lands? Are there lands in the Zongos that, because the Zongos normally are usually packed.
Yes,
they are usually slum areas. I'm not saying all Zongos are like that, but most Zongos are like that. They are packed. It's just a small area where they are all, you know, there is no space whatsoever. So is it going to be in the outskirts of the Zongo? Is it going to be our normal Osu cemetery that they are going to create? And even with Osu cemetery, I think that place is all it's been exhausted, and I don't know how.
I think there are some Muslim cemeteries already.
Okay.
There are some sites meant for
Muslims only. Okay.
So I think if the president wants to do something like that,
so if you are tuned in on our live, don't forget to share our live, and also leave a comment down below. Do you think the cemetery promise is ideal? Is what is ideal for people in the Zongo caucus? Now, we heard Dr. Baumia saying somewhere last 2 weeks that he is going to create football parks or astroturfs for people in the Zongo, so that football can become a great part of it, because we have a lot of footballers coming. Then we also have Mr. Former President John Dramani Mahama also coming in to say that is a Zongo. So let's weigh these two things: a football park and a Zongo. Which one can actually take us into development?
I think even with
I want a football pitch.
That one they've even started.
Okay.
Started.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the one at Fadama is being done.
Okay.
That one I've seen it myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So more on the front page of the Daily Guide, we have President visits ECOWAS head office. Again, on the bottom left, we have NPP replies NDC on Ashanti neglect.
Okay.
And then again, on the bottom right, we have NDC begs for crowd to welcome Nana. And last on the front page is government releases 3.56 billion Ghana cedis to pay rest of depositors. Ghana will scout. Election year and the money is flowing.
Money is flowing. They keep all the money, and during the election year, they release them into the country.
Okay. So another story here that caught my eye. Dear leader, prepare for the future.
Right.
And that's from Dr. Doug Howard Mills. One very seasoned minister and man of God. I think he is the head of Lighthouse Chapel, the Kodesh, what they popularly call the Kodesh. He is one man that I salute his grace.
I salute his oil. I salute his intelligence, because I think the first time I was introduced to Dag Heward Mills was way back when I was in JSS. There was this particular friend of mine who carried a lot of his books around, and one day I was like, who is this man? And I was able to read a part of it, and I fell in love with his word. And if he's saying leaders should look into the future, I think that is a good thing. We should stop doing this temporary thing to win vote and look into the future.
And another story, which this one really caused for a big debate, coming from Nigeria, and it says Nigeria to castrate convicted rapists.
Sharia law.
And
What do you think?
my issue about it is, you know, when it comes to the death sentence,
Right.
it was debated, and many countries have taken it off their books because you can convict someone and later it comes out that the person is innocent.
Right.
Yeah.
So if this is to happen to someone, you've already castrated the person. What are you going to do for the person?
Was the person caught in the act?
Yes, I think when they caught him in the act.
And then it says convicted rapist. Convicted.
So then that means there is no evidence, concrete evidence.
It's the court that is saying that you've been convicted.
You know, sometimes there are times that I like to look at the Sharia law that they do use with a little bit of democratic. Would I say democratic? I would want to look at it from a democratic sort of perspective. But then every or the genuine, you understand. For instance, if you come to our daily homes, obi wo hwa sorry na pa oberu nenim na we twitwi ne sen owi a wakopra obi so wo ho sorry na pa obepra owi ansa na we twitwi ne sen obi so wo ho obi didi ansa na obe so opra ansa na wa ye de we twitwi ne sen obi so be dware wie ansa na we twitwi ne sen. You understand? So whatever, at the end of the day, we all get ready and go to work anyways, right? And that is what has become a part of us, and that is what we feel like it probably is one of our routines that helps us start the day. So if Nigeria is bent on Sharia law, and I feel like in a way it helps. It keeps them, and it keeps them from because you barely hear rape from Nigeria.
Well, recently
There has been, but if I should compare rape cases in Ghana and rape cases in Nigeria, I would say that Ghana has more of rape cases because yes, the reason being that when him says so no sika, they can bail him out. You bet me I have a foolish case. Recently, there was a documentary on TV about this disabled girl who lives in Cape Coast.
Yes, I saw it.
She said, I just have goosebumps on me. She said she's disabled to the extent that she can't do anything for herself. Want to be shame money home. So she lives at the mercy of people. There is this old woman who lives nearby. And she's speech impaired a little bit, and she was in school, but people were supporting her. But then because of COVID, that particular NGO that was helping her couldn't, or they stopped. And this particular girl said that men in the community rape her. Men in the community do rape her. Somebody who is disabled.
Not only the community,
a lot of people, cars
they bring cars
to park
Really?
and rape her. She's speech impaired, so you can hear her talk. You'll be able to make something out of it. But the old woman who apparently takes care of her, I think is a confidant. And so this is the extent of how rape has actually gone in Ghana. To the extent, and apart from that, there are a lot of rape cases that people say, oh, especially when you have older relatives raping
Fathers
children,
raping
fathers,
their
uncles,
daughters.
cousins, raping their nieces, their nephews, fingering them and all that. We have a lot of these cases that are not even with the Ministry of Gender and Children Affairs. There are a lot of rape cases. If Ghana should adopt something like you've been castrated, why are you saying no? There isn't.
I feel pains in my balls already.
Oh,
They are raping the lady. I mean, it sometimes what they went through is not easy.
Yeah. I can only imagine what a lady will go through.
PTSD, sexually transmitted diseases, low self-esteem.
Yeah.
It can affect her married life, her sex life.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even results in pregnancy.
Yeah.
That was what I'm even thinking
And the
about.
most annoying part of it all is that if you are being raped and you go to the hospital for examination, you are being charged.
You are being charged.
Yes.
Go.
You are being charged. So, in the People's Manifesto of the NDC, according to Professor Nana Jane, she says that all of those fees are going to be eradicated under the reign of the NDC if they are being voted into power. And Amake Abebrese, who is also a Ghanaian actress, is also on a campaign on that the government of Ghana should eradicate examination fees for
I think
rape
even
victims.
TikTok is doing something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is the extent. Rape is something that most people don't talk about it because parents or guardians fail to push it further. There are women who know that their brothers or their husbands are raping people, are even raping their own children. There are people who know their husbands are pedophiles, but then because they are married to them, they tend to
Yeah. You bring the shame to the family.
to bring the so women say men kasa mo binti ase mo koka eye musuo eye nubase eye say.
What of those who say a lot of rape being around is because of the kind of clothing that our ladies wear?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Are
you kidding me?
I heard this from.
Are you kidding me?
Or something that.
Are you
those
kidding
people
me?
that They rape them. They really enjoy the rape. I got seriously
So you
angry.
see, okay, a friend shared a story on Facebook about a Ghanaian who went to US, and they went to a pool party, and in the pool everybody was wearing bikini, and the men, they were all, you know how these men are. They are wearing bikini, black, white, whatsoever, and he was the only Ghanaian man who had an erection in the pool. He was the only man, not Ghanaian man, he was the only man in the pool who had an erection. So he said at that moment, he asked himself, why am I the only person having an erection in a pool where there are a lot of men who are equally sexually active as I am? Then he realized that it is all in the mind. So rape has got nothing to do with the kind of clothing you wear.
This issue that you are talking about, I have a friend who, when I talk about it, she's okay with it.
Right.
She was raped. Not that she was wearing a short clothing or something.
Right.
She was even going to church.
Oh!
She was even going to church, and the two young men just grabbed her and they raped her. You see, so when such a person heard the story that those men that women that they rape them, that they enjoy. I mean,
Look at this disabled girl we are talking about.
How would you let the person who was raped whilst she was going to church feel?
Yes.
You get to sometimes
Look at this lady, this disabled lady who is very, she can barely bath.
Even with her, what if it ends up with the pregnancy? How is
she can barely bath.
But what people were saying that for her issue, I think most of the men using it for
spiritual purposes. Is the reason.
rituals.
Well, that's no matter your
Because
reason.
you park your car and went to the room to sleep with that girl.
So
No matter
is it for a fee?
No, you know.
You can't just walk into someone's room.
But and where the door was around.
She doesn't have a helper. She's
the only
helpless.
one in
So
the room.
she's in a very dilapidated room just by the roadside, and she normally sits at the road to beg for money. So at the end, in the anajona akushimunawada. So it is not. She can't even on to me money who's wakafem. So you understand. So if people are saying that people who are being raped do enjoy it, I've heard people who suffer with PTSD. Now, according to most pastors, one of the reasons why women do get divorced is because they do have low self-esteem during sex, and it has been known that women who suffer from low self-esteem during sex normally are people who have been raped in their life at a point in time. Inti say onene ya no kaya osro and I say
he doesn't even enjoy
yes.
Like,
so it becomes like she needs to endure it instead of enjoying it.
Yes, it's true.
What am I saying? She needs to endure because that was the first thing that she's been known to. And in Ghana here we do not have a system whereby these rape victims are being counseled. They are being held because PTSD is real. PTSD is real because I know how PTSD is. You go through something, and the moment that thing tends to be happening, you have flashbacks of what it is, and it stops you. It either stops you or at a point in time it weakens you not to do whatsoever you are doing. It can affect your job. It can affect you. It can affect every part of you. It can even affect your own children and the kind of upbringing you do give to them. So PTSD is real, and in Ghana, we don't have any counseling sessions, any training sessions. See, therapy is mandatory. Everything be ako isikasem into your court na ohune ebegini sikaba akumienu a. That is why I say we should adopt this kind of Sharia law that is in the papers today.
I was saying that it's part of the reason why I always say I enjoy the first part of the show. Like that's my best part of the entire show.
Okay.
That's because what you shared this morning. My relationship that I have with people is purely based on trust.
Right.
And I'm a very good listener, so I get people entrusting me with a lot of things.
Right.
And being able to speak about what you've been through, I can tell, is a first step to solving it.
Yes.
And I should add that sometimes someone will not tell you something because they want you to find a solution for them or something. They just need someone to
just listen. Yes.
Yeah. So, drumming on what you shared, I think it's very important that we find someone around us that we can share certain things with them. Because I know someone.
I am not fine.
I know someone. I can share a little bit about this because the person will not hear.
Right.
Yeah. Let me just say the person will not hear, and the person was sexually molested as a child.
Whoa.
Several times by different kind of people, and when she grew up, she didn't have
any self-esteem.
Yeah, like she thought herself to be not worth good.
Right.
You know, so I think the PTSD thing that you are talking about is really real. And I also know someone who had been sexually molested by her own sister's husband, and it got to a time that she couldn't take care of. As on Timmy without sex.
Yeah.
She always has to go.
Most of them turn into go into prostitution.
Right.
Most of them too hate men.
Yes.
Oh, this man raped me. So after
all men are
the same. So in his life, in his mind, and all men are the same. So even getting a good person in his relationship, he doesn't value that relationship. Doesn't value that person.
Yes.
You get
no matter how much you try to prove to her that you are in her life for a good reason,
Yeah.
she would never.
And
believe
even
that.
because they have low self-esteem, should in case they are able to open up to a man and the man
disappoints them,
not even disappoint them, decide to go out with them,
right?
sometimes it turns out that the man becomes as a ocean, so because
Only secret, he used that to
Yes.
either or blackmail. I know someone said he told husband to be that he was raped and something like that. And I think in a relationship or when they got married, the husband make a comment, and that is why they raped you. You get it? He
Well,
uses past
you should never say something like that to your wife.
past issue to rub it on his face anytime they had an issue. So these are the things that sometimes when you are getting married, they said, oh, you have to, tell your secret, everything to your husband. But please,
don't do that.
Use it against you.
Don't
The
do that. If you are listening, don't ever do that. If you are listening and you have been a victim of rape, if you have been a victim of sexual molesting, whatsoever concerning your sex life, I don't think should be important to your partner. Somebody who really wants to be with you in the future. You know, the thing is, you can never measure a person's emotional maturity.
Yeah.
Emotional maturity is something that we all underestimate when getting to know people. That person's emotional maturity. That person can be matured. I'll be able to when it's a matured guy, but emotionally ask yourself, is that person matured? The reason being that, that person wanting to be with you, so somebody who is not emotionally matured all of a sudden, has a perception about you, that you have gone through this, you have done this. So in a way, at certain times or at a point in time, he is doing you a favor by being in your life.
Yeah.
Or he's doing you a favor by being with you despite the fact that everything you have to, that kind of thing. So don't ever, according to Steve Harvey, Steve Harvey? He said that if anybody asks you, how many relationships have you been in? Tell them it's 2. Tell them it's 2.
Well, but when it comes to the sex part, imagine.
I feel like sex. Personally, I feel like sex is a private thing.
It is.
It is. I would want to call it intimacy rather than call it sex. I call it intimacy because I feel it should be intimate between 2 parties. Door closed, and that is it. Whether doors are not closed, wherever it happens, it happened between 2 people, so it should be there. Now, there are times that we find people who are judgment free. I have met somebody like that before. He will tell you, he will boldly tell you about his past. He wouldn't tell anybody or everybody his past, but when he realizes that you are non-judgmental, he'll be able to break through and tell you, I've had sex with a couple of people, I've done this before, but now I realize that there is no need for me to continue doing that, so I'm not doing that anymore. But if you really want a good relationship, or I feel like if you are going into a person's life, you should be interested in the person's future more than the person's past. Just like the way we're talking about today. When you live in a relationship whereby you are constantly reminded of your past, you will live in your past and it will drain your energy. At a point, you wouldn't feel the need to go on with it. Big shout out to Kweku T, who is tuned in, watching us on Facebook. Thank you so much. Don't forget to share, leave your comments down below, and also leave us a thumbs up if you are tuned in same way. So as I was saying, there is no need for if you are a man and you are interested in a woman's past, then there is no need to be with her.
Not interested in her past, but let's say in a situation where the person doesn't enjoy making love to you because the person has been raped before, you need to tell your partner so that you find a way out of it.
Well, that is where I believe
it strongly depends on the kind of person that you meet.
Well, I that is why I do believe say a therapist should come in, or a counselor should come in. People don't really feel good talking to people who are really close to them about certain things like that, because say first Obedrin said, oh, this guy is going to judge me, this guy is going to be judgmental about it. And you know, familiarity is a factor, and people don't really open up to people they are really familiar with. But if I know this is your profession, and if I know that this is what you are doing, I know that this is what you do, and you'll be able to help me. That is where a therapist and a counselor comes in. Ghana, we have a problem when somebody is going to see a therapist, a psychologist. And I remember somewhere last 2 months I told somebody that I'm going to see a psychologist, and the person will be like, yeah, the person was like, yeah, and the whole border man. You see,
the moment you make a move that you want to, do some checkup on yourself, they think maybe there was something wrong with you.
You see,
and that is very, very bad.
when the moment I was like, I want to talk to a therapist, then I want to and all that. But the truth is, if you are going through something that you are living with all for a very long time, definitely you have people around you who are with you. It has never occurred to me that I should tell this person. If I'm really close to a race and something is happening to me, it should occur to me for, oh, should I talk to a racy about it? Oh no, oh yes, oh no. What would a racy tell me? Oh, I wouldn't feel okay. That is where a therapist comes in. Ubia, somebody who is not ready to judge you, somebody who is into help you. And yet the future is the most important thing. So these two things, you being able not to judge anybody, you not being judgmental, and you having the person's future in mind, are the two paramount things that I think a man, if you are stepping into a woman's life, that should be the most important thing. Whatever it is, what if you're a man and you are looking at what the lady has done in the future, forget, you are not in love with the lady, or you don't want to be with the lady. If you are interested in the person's future, that is why we have people who can marry somebody who has 8 children. I would take my grandmother, for instance. My grandfather and my grandmother. My mother told me, I don't know my grandmother, but my grandfather is still alive. My mother told me my grandfather got married to my grandmother after she had 8 children.
Oh, I know an auntie who got
after she had 8 children. My grandfather married someone, and yes, my grandfather on water, or Obia or Oniba on water. Or worrying and on any wood too. So with these things like this, when you have somebody who has the future in your mind, in his mind, the past is not important. So Christopher Mensah says that most of the prostitutes we see on the street, some of them are victims of rape, and that is true. Thank you so much. And also a big shout out to Sarah Tete, my own auntie, who is tuning in. A big shout out to you too. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kwekiti, thank you also so much for tuning in. Christopher Mensah, thank you so much for tuning in the same way and making time with us. And also Positive Change Madina. When we get to political trend, we can also read his message. He never fails to leave us a message same way all the time. And I love the fact that he's committed at doing what he does. Please take us through and let Erasy.
Let me add 2 more stories so Erasy takes over. New EPA boss tax starts to redeem image. And then finally, COVID-19 shrinks economy by 3.2%.
Whoa! Yeah. According to the IMF, I guess they are saying that the economic growth in Ghana has reduced
by 3.2%.
It wasn't really that much of a huge.
It's no, the percentage in itself is if you say it wouldn't be that much, but if you look at the numbers,
right?
Yeah, that's where you find out that no, a lot of money has been lost.
Well, whatever it is, I would have to commend His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I am not really a political person. I wouldn't say I don't have any stand when it comes to Yes, I'm not affiliated to any political party. And at first, I actually doubted the NPP as to whether they would be able to do the job well. But if not for anything, how we have handled this COVID-19 situation in Ghana has so far been the best, because we have seen a drastic drop in the numbers of infected people, even though we have quite a number of people who are dead due to COVID-19. It's all as a result of they having an ailment already, and that COVID-19 has only been the cause of it all. It makes me so happy knowing that an African country where people thought that COVID-19 was going to kill us to the extent that we are going to have dead bodies on the streets, we have been able to walk past through that. I would commend the president for that. He did a good job. He did a good job.
He's really
I'm not saying he did. He's doing. He's doing a good job. The strategic way he's lifting a band. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
The president really did.
It's just amazing. Somebody will listen and say that I'm near MPP, but it's not that. No, you know, the Bible even says that for whom Hannah is due, give that Hannah. And I think so. Nipaya dia or say so we na ya and you may say anything.
When it comes to the COVID-19, the president really took charge of it.
Yes, he really took charge of it.
If you are to compare,
that's what it was.
If you are to compare the Doomso era, all the timely reports and everything.
Yes, it's really, really commendable. And also, I would commend the Minister of Information. Oh, Kojo Opoyin Kuma. Honorable Kojo Opoyin Kuma is I have seen ministers of information, but he is doing a good job with daily up to date results, with what is going on, with meeting the press, with everything. They have really given us an insight into how this thing has been handled, and we will commend them. We would really, really commend them. Please, let's continue with our papers.
Okay, let me go to Ghanaian Times. Parents stranded hospital as nurses, midwives lay their tools. And the same front page of Ghanaian Times, IGP also we will do with police personnel who indulge in partisan politics.
Right.
And the same front page of Ghanaian Times, Nadmon, please Nadmon of death of quotes such players of parts of so this story, and I want to go into it.
Right.
It was so. It wasn't. I thought the president has banned this football activity. So
yes,
I was wondering how these players were going for.
Well, in his State of Nation address last weekend,
they had to start
the Premier League next month.
The issue happened before presidents were saying
okay.
They should, the National Disaster Management Organization, that is NADMO, is collaborating with the Ghana Police Service to investigate that, to lead the death of some court players of Offenso in the Ashanti region. 6 footballers players at the African Vision Soccer Academy, according to the Disaster Management Organization, dead in the river Offenso. This came after the vehicle in which they were traveling. This vehicle, this came after vehicle which they were traveling off the road and end up in the water body on Saturday, 19th September at Offenso. And I think they have about, I said eight boys, I think they were dead, and I think some 6 were seriously injured.
injured too. This is so sad.
And they were just teenagers, at least 13, 14, and I think one of the NADMON directors, NADMON directors, I think one of his sons was a part of those people, and you could see when I watched I think they said the driver was overspeeding, was a very, very overspeeding. So when it gets to offense, he couldn't control the speed, and you have to, off the road to the what you call it, the offense. And we have a very sad story that's about.
Well, stories whilst I review the Daily Graphic. So the Daily Graphic today is September 22nd, Tuesday 2020. The biggest story: GES recruits 16,500 trained teachers. Be circumspect in reportage, Kumasi MC tells media. And also IMF reviews Ghana's growth forecast. That is the story, the stories that made it to the front page. And also, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has started a process to validate data to enable it to revise upwards growth forecast in Ghana. And we have a picture of Dr. Albert Tuna Mahama on page 3 of the Daily Graphic. And also, the Ghana Education Service has begun the process to recruit 16,500 trained teachers who completed the colleges of education last year. Now, earlier this year, the GES recruited 1,500 teachers in a special mop-up exercise for trained teachers who completed their studies in the 2017-2018 academic year, but could not be recruited because they had challenges with their papers. Now, according to the service, interested successful candidates could apply for recruitment to work where their services were needed. Now we have a picture of Professor Kwesi Opoku Amankwa in front of the Daily Graphic. And also, we have built the ECOWAS into viable bloc. Akufo-Addo tax commissioners and staff. Now, Kenya's top judge wants parliament dissolved, the biggest one also in Kenya. And also, let's take a look into that story. It's on page 5 of the Daily Graphic. You have Kenya's top judge want the parliament of Kenya dissolved. Now, Kenya's Chief Justice David Maraga has asked President Uhuru Kenyatta to dissolve parliament because it does not have enough female MPs. I am up for that. I'm really up for that. In a letter,
that's not fair. That's not fair. Just because they don't have female MPs.
Now,
they vote or ask for them, they don't vote for their.
Let's take a look at the full story before we can delve into it. I would want us to really look into that. Now, in a letter to Mr. Kenyatta, the Chief Justice said the failure to have more female MPs was in breach of the Constitution and tantamount to discrimination against women. Now, the Constitution states that one gender group cannot occupy more than 2/3 of the parliamentary seats. Now, however, women hold far fewer than the mandatory 116 seats in the 350-member parliament. Now, parliament had either failed or neglected to enact legislation required to implement the gender rule despite 4 court orders to do so, the Chief Justice said. Now, he also now legally required to advise the president to dissolve parliament, the Chief Justice added. Now, Parliamentary Speaker Justice Muturi said the dissolution of parliament was an unrealistic option. Now, Kenya's new constitution was introduced in 2010 or 2010, and the 2/3 gender rule should have been enacted within 5 years. Now, while there has been a debate on the matter, the male-dominated parliament is yet to find a formula for getting more women into parliament, with several members arguing against creating more seats specifically for women and challenging them to compete more at the ballot box. This story is according to the BBC. There was a special edition Inside Africa, and we have a picture of David Maraga, who is Kenya's Chief Justice. And I think it's a good move. Now, remember that this initiative wasn't by a woman. For it to be like, we want to ensure women. I remember I told a friend that I'm really up for women empowerment, and he asked, "Are we still empowering women?" Hell yeah, we are still empowering women. We are empowering women because society has given women some sort of smaller seats, and we are being trampled upon. Thereby, for Ghana, I think Ghana has quite a reasonable number of women in parliament. In parliament, I might say, not really that much, but I feel like with these kind of things, it takes time. We just can't just say that, because there are not enough women in parliament, we are just bringing women in parliament. No, we can't say that, but we have quite a number of them. And of course, we have seen a very big move from the NDC by taking Professor Nana Jane as running mate for John Dramani Mahama. And we have seen PPP also take a woman flag bearer, Mrs. Bridget Jogbenuku. We also have a PDP, right? For PMP.
No, is it PDP?
No, we have PMP.
Are you talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
NDP. Sorry, NDP. We have the NDP, who is led by Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings, also being a woman. So we have seen some women. We have running presidential candidate Ifya Donko also. We have
I think, Speaker of Parliament.
Yes, and we do have Georgina Wood, and we do have.
I think when it comes to our political system, we have a lot of active women even the EC is a
yes, Jane Mensah is also a beautiful woman who is also leading the Electoral Commission of Ghana. December.
I think they're taking a good decision
They have taken a good decision. Now,
No.
as to you don't believe that.
I don't think it is for someone to say that we need women. If the women, why aren't the women active
Sometimes you know something. Sometimes they are active. For instance, maybe I want to contest on this constituency,
Right.
and I have about 4 men competing with me. And sometimes what the men do is maybe that woman has, done something small, then they will use it against her.
So they try
That's-
to use moral standards
That's
to
politics.
judge a woman.
That's politics.
No, that is not
That's-
politics.
it's politics.
Listen.
I'm listening.
We have MPs who are womanizers. We have MPs who go to the club and they do spend money.
They smoke.
They smoke.
And all
They use drugs and all that. I'm not saying there is an MP like that, but there are people definitely who will have somebody at least.
Let's be patient on that.
Yes,
before
we have
do that.
somebody. I wouldn't say use drugs. Using drugs was an extreme. Let me issue a disclaimer before I find myself being sued for defamation.
No, you go to Parliament.
I'll go to Parliament to go and answer that. I don't know any. I don't know any parliament member of parliament who you. It was just a mistake. It was a mistake. I'm issuing a disclaimer. But we do have member of parliament who live immoral lives.
Yeah.
But we don't judge. We don't use it to judge their political credibility. Political credibility has got nothing to do with somebody's
Personal life.
It does.
personal. It doesn't. The reason being that the fact that I am working at Radio Guy as the host of the Rise Up Morning Show doesn't mean that I don't have myself.
You do have yourself, but the position that you occupy
Right.
should your lifestyle should suit the position. It's not for any reason why TV3 they sacked Nanama for the incident that happened.
Right.
It's not for any reason.
Right.
You know, and let's just focus on the parliament stuff.
Right.
You know, it is a man's world. Whether we like it or not, it is a man's world, and it's not going to come easy for women.
It is a woman's world.
Do you believe it? Let's
should allow the women to.
be raw on that.
And
It's
when
a
they have-
man's world, and it
if
has
they
been a
have
man's world for a very long time.
If they have 50 men, they should have 50 women.
Now, apparently,
they should-
apparently, the constitution required that there are supposed to be 2/3 gender role, which was supposed to be enacted within 5 years, but it has taken them 10 years, and up to now, so it's right for it to be dissolved. Apart from it being a man's world, let's take it. I mean, I believe that a country is being governed by a set of rules. That is a constitution, and if we tend not to live by the constitution, then that means anybody can do what they want.
So if they are to dissolve parliament, what next?
I think they are to dissolve parliament, then maybe they can hold elections.
Yeah, rebuild it.
Well, we can have.
So that means affairs of the country is going to pause. Until
Well, we have the executive and the judiciary.
they don't perform the rules.
I mean, they don't perform the. But this is the situation whereby the constitution itself, that is being used by members of parliament, is not even being I would say respected, or is not being
I
credible.
think dissolving the parliament is too extreme. I mean, they should rather
Now,
put in
the
measures.
reason why they might be dissolving the parliament could be that there are huge cases of discrimination against women. In Kenya, for instance, I've heard stories about women being discriminated and women not being able to live their lives just because they are women, to the extent that women are not being able to own like expensive cars, properties, good business, and all that in some part of Kenya and all that. So it makes it difficult. It affects the economy in general, especially where we live in a world where there are more women than men.
Yeah.
There are more women than men, so it makes it really difficult for we to have men do. I'm not saying there is a problem with it. There is no problem with it, but there should be more women representatives. There is. I don't have a problem with it being. I don't have a. It's like you are making decisions for teachers, and teachers are not even present at the meeting where you are taking decisions, it makes it becomes I don't know what word to use for that. Women should be part of it, not because they are trying to kill the shine of women or not, but because there are issues concerning them. Because you can't tell me you are doing something for me when I'm not present. I should be present. I should have a representative.
They have rape cases
and all that.
And a man definitely will defend. No, it's the woman. You get it.
Just like the way somebody.
I think the Constitution in itself knows this, and that's why the Constitution gave in the two-third rule.
Right.
So it is up for the women to show their interest.
You see, sometimes the woman will show the interest, but for instance, a place that you see a woman want to contest, and you see a 5-man contestant.
It doesn't matter. It shouldn't come easy.
No. They should drop those men.
No. It shouldn't come easy. No. It shouldn't come easy.
I believe
the men has money to give it out more than women giving money. It's not easy.
I do believe that the reason why the citizens are not buying that or are not concerning to that is because they see government not championing it. So if government is now championing it, then we can also support. Because if I'm doing something and I see that, if I'm doing something in my father's house and I see my father is not championing it, what can I do? But if I see my father is championing it, it gives me some sort of strength to even come out.
This is it was supposed to be a woman who was even to call for the dissolvement of the family.
They have called for this thing, but
they are not being heard.
You said maybe.
I'm saying that it could be that they are not being heard. Because I do believe. Well, he believes it's a man's world, but I do believe it's a woman's world.
It's a man's world. When it comes to I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with women.
You see, I always want to go biblical with some of my suggestions. If women were the last creatures. The last thing God created were women. God created everything and he saw that it was good. He created everything. He created the land, the skies, the animals in it, and he realized it was good. He created Adam and said that he created you and said that he saw you and he saw that it was good. He gave you the power to name, to do whatever you can do with it. Now, so now me share that now, no. I say no. Man is lonely. I will make him a helper. So if women are not in parliament to help men, we are not trying to fulfill the biblical aspect of what the world is. If God in his own wisdom and his own glory, with everything that he's capable of doing, creating man in his own image, said that there be akabibi.
Yes. No, not disputing
that should fact. That should tell us that in whatever it is, there should be a woman representation.
Yes.
I'm not disputing that fact.
So why are you saying it's
I'm not disputing that fact. The thing is, in our part of in Ghana, we had women, both NDC, NPP, all political parties coming together to champion and to groom young ladies to venture into politics.
Right. Because it was championed by somebody at a top hierarchy. If women are not
so the president of the land,
for instance, you are climbing a ladder. You want to talk to a large group of people. You can't stand in front of them and talk. You would have to elevate yourself so that you will be seen. So that it would be heard.
It was asking a question that president's wife is a woman. So
Listen, just like the way Buhari said that his wife is not needed in political talks, his wife is meant for the kitchen and the other room.
You see? You hear that?
But I don't believe you need someone who is high at the top.
Okay, the reason why I say you need somebody who is a high is because it's a male-dominated country. Yeah. Listen, it's a male-dominated country.
And then you're accepting the fact that it's the man's world.
No, I'm not accepting the fact that it's a man's world. I believe that men are enjoying much more privilege than they are supposed to enjoy.
That's exactly the
especially when women are doing all the hard work. Yes.
You believe so?
Oh yes. A woman will leave his parents, marry a man.
That man will not leave
leave his father's surname.
No.
Leave his father's surname.
That's a no-go.
Leave his father's surname. Leave his father's surname. Take up the man's surname. Take care of the man. Take care of the house. Her own job. She'll take care of all of that. She will get pregnant. Her body will undergo changes. She will suffer for 9 good months. Go to the labor ward. Have a child for that child coming out to look exactly like the father. The child will take up the man's surname. She will breastfeed the child, bath the child, wean the child, train the child, and all of that. So we live in a woman's world. Listen. I am not trying to say that women. Some people who know me actually always say that I'm always trying to rub shoulders with men. I'm not trying to rub shoulders with men. I do believe and accept that women are supposed to submit to men.
No,
yes.
They're not supposed to submit.
Women are supposed to submit to men. I'm saying this on record because I'm a Christian.
Oh, okay.
I am not going to allow my personal views and my because I work with school or back with school and I know I'm not going to allow that. I believe that women are supposed to submit to men. It took me years for me to accept that, but the word of God is paramount. But the Bible in that same chapter also said that men love your wives. When you love somebody, there is nothing you can't tolerate. There is nothing you can, when you love, there is not, she knew the pakwane be ya, a bit me amasa donate you understand? So love and submission comes hand in hand. You love a woman and she will be able to submit to you. Don't ever try to unlove a woman and expect her to submit.
No, it won't happen.
You understand? It's like a skill. It's like a 2-tier skill. So if it's not even supposed to balance, if it's balanced, we are going to rub shoulders. The love is supposed to outweigh it for there to be a submission. You understand? So if you are trying to take women out of parliament, or you feel like parliament, we shouldn't take extreme reasons, then there is a mistake somewhere. Women are not getting enough representation because there is not anybody up on the ladder to call them up to it. Say, now you don't really get much motivation, especially when it involves people, and you don't really get much motivation. You naturally tend to lose self-esteem and self-motivation over that. It takes only 1 out of 100 people who are able to self-motivate themselves and say that I don't care what anybody is saying, I'm still pushing. But not especially when your life is being threatened. We know how much men can actually go for power. Men can kill for power. Men.
No men. Oh, no men. It's human. Human beings. I think. Just this Friday, we were speaking about a story where a 52-year-old woman. Yeah. So it's not just
kidnapping 2 children.
It's not just it's human. It's human.
But it's human. But
what I'm saying is,
men can do most. Sometimes women. I mean,
what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is.
Oba, you say oba be machimi yedin, ena oba muchimudo. Oba chimudo.
Mbano, unless you get somebody, me for instance, I mean, I'm abandon my baby child.
Right.
I can't.
Yes.
I can't. But a man, it won't take a second to do that. You get it.
If you should take the number of men who abandon their children to single mothers, you can't compare it to the number of women who abandon their children to single fathers.
Yeah.
So, obati mudo, before a woman will react, she would have to contain it before it overflows.
Okay.
But bear my dream say me, yeah.
That is all. Nothing can change.
But a woman will be able to contain it for some time. Then when it gets to the brim, she'll have enough of it. So women are important.
Women are important. Hey,
And listen, and I think that for
seriously,
I believe people just say oh, women are important. They just say it by word, but they don't take the
Back it up.
action. That is why I'm really happy that they are taking an action. An extreme. You can't just continue saying, "Oh, women are important. Women are important," and say that, "Oh, women empowerment," and people are saying that we are empowering the women and doing this and doing. When in actual sense, you are just giving women ceremonial heads and they are being redundant. So I believe that if something is important, then you take extreme measures.
now
Because
imagine,
they have done what they
imagine the same issue. Imagine you have someone oppressing you,
Right.
and you are telling the oppressor
Right.
to be the person to champion your liberation.
Right.
How do you think it's going to be? We have men
Right.
who are imposing their will on women,
Right.
and you are telling these same men to champion liberating women or bringing women.
That is why out of all of these men, you're Bajimba woman. You know, there are sensible men out there.
I believe
that a man who is really intelligent, and a very intelligent man. People feel like the fact that I have control over my wife, the fact that I have control over my woman, makes you highly intelligent, but that is wrong. That is why late Dr. Kwadi Agri said that if you educate a man, you educate one person, but if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation. So women and a highly intelligent man wouldn't try to suppress a woman, wouldn't try to clamp down the abilities of a woman, because when a woman is given power, I always use Angela Merkel of Germany. God, the woman is powerful even in her silence. Even in her silence, power talks. I believe these men in Kenya who are not helping to champion this particular agenda are not only power drunk, but they are scared of what women can do when they are being given power.
Yes.
So the women should involve themselves.
Well, let's see if there are going to be any developing stories on that.
The women should
And
involve
also
themselves.
in UK, without action, UK faces 50,000 new cases daily by October. Now, the chief scientific advisor of the United Kingdom has warned that the country could see 50,000 new coronavirus cases a day by mid-October without further action. Now, Sir Patrick Vallance said that would be expected to lead about 200 plus deaths per day in a month. So this comes as the Prime Minister prepares to chair a COBRA emergency committee meeting on Tuesday morning, then make a statement in the House of Commons. Now, we are looking at 50,000 new cases daily. If action is not taken, let's take it that Boris Kujo and Professor Chris Whitty, who is the chief medical advisor, will be able to do something about it. There is still coronavirus, and that was why I was saying that I really like the strategy in which we used to curb our coronavirus. You know, in these countries, they waited for the cases to escalate before they were able to do something about it. But Ghana started doing something about it immediately. We recorded our first case.
Yeah, but do you know something? If coronavirus is still in the system,
Right.
But so it seems that some of Ghanaian, I think we've forgotten about it.
Right.
Because initially we used to wash our hands,
Wear
this-
nose masks,
some of
sanitize
the
our hands.
cases, there was this Veronica Bucket.
Right.
This times I don't see all
You don't see all of those things.
And when you buy a car, you see about maybe if there are 20 passengers, you see
Right.
only 10
passengers.
or 9 wearing
Right.
nose masks. The
Right.
rest. So all these things we have to put it in consideration because
Right.
if we don't do as the president was saying now, we end up those UK cases we see.
Well,
every
now
UK
we
cases
yesterday,
that-
as at yesterday, we recorded about 48 new cases only.
Just yesterday.
As
Just
at,
yesterday.
no, not just yesterday. As at yesterday,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
our active cases had dropped from the thousands, and we
Okay.
had just 48 new cases.
New
So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So.
But we need to be
Think-
extremely
for-
careful.
And
for
we have
UK
seen countries that recorded extremely low number of cases, and the next minute it had escalated. We have had
I think
reinfections. We have
France is going lockdown.
It's France.
France is going
yes,
lockdown.
France is
It
going
happened
under
to
lockdown.
Australia as well.
Yes, so I think we should also have this thing in mind. Just as our president said, we should wear our masks like our lives depend on it, and it should be.
But it's really bad for UK because October, the deadline for Brexit is supposed to happen in October.
Yes.
And if this
Well,
It's
that is why it's called a pandemic. They are looking at 200 plus deaths a day. So that is quite serious. And also, we have Russia. So Putin associates laundered millions through Barclays. Now, one of Vladimir.
yeah.
I always want to mention this name the Russian way, but the Russians do have a way that they do mention it. But Vladimir, Putin's closest friends, may have used Barclays Bank in London to launder money and dodge sanctions. Leaked documents suggest now billionaire Arkady Rotenberg, also known as Russia's president since childhood, has known the Russian president since childhood. According to him, has laundered millions of money. Wow, millions of money. And financial restrictions or sanctions which were imposed on Mr. Rottenberg by the US and the EU in 2014, which means Western banks could face serious consequences for doing business with him. Now, Barclays says it met all its legal and regulatory duties, but a leak of confidential files reveal how companies believed to be controlled by Mr. Rottenberg kept the secret among the document known as the FinCEN document have been seen by the BBC Panoramas program, and according to Arkady Rottenberg's son, he is on the list of sanctioned individuals and aimed that the sanction is actually cut off. Now, this is a story of the president of Russia, a childhood friend of his or a good friend of his, being laundering money. And most of the times with this, people say that the president might know something about it. But well, let's wait for
for this particular story. It is not news to hear that
right.
they are laundering money in Russia, or the oligarchs in Russia are laundering money.
Right.
But when Barclays comes into picture,
it, but according to Barclays, they met all the legal and regulatory.
This is not the first time.
Yes, I heard in 2014 there were restrictions that no bank should do business with him, no Western bank, and they said that Western banks could face serious consequences for doing business with Mr. Rottenberg. Well, they went ahead to do it anyway, so I guess Barclays Bank will be facing sanction very soon. And also, United States in the story, the Trump administration has named 3 cities that are slated to lose federal funding after the White House accused them of tolerating crime. And the New York City, Portland, and Seattle are on the list of anarchist city.
New York City?
Yes. The New York City, Portland, and Seattle are on the list of anarchist cities that Trump officials say have failed to stem crime linked to a summer of protests. Now, all of these protests are as a result of they saying that they want Trump out of the system. Well, we shall see in the next elections that come whether
Trump doesn't play fair.
Well, but I believe that I believe he's not going to win this time around, especially when Black Lives Matter. the reason
you can't really tell.
the reason why I'm sometimes I try to look at how much these, it looks like most black men are anti-Trumps. Most black men are anti-Trumps, and this year I have been able to see lot of black celebrities, lot of black, people who are top stars are championing and trying to urge people to vote. At first they don't vote because voting there is nothing wrong with me voting. Even if I vote, I'm still kind of like, whatever I say, whatever I do, the laws they are going to use against me are going to be the same. But they are making people know that your vote can be a change. So they are promoting and championing people to vote. We have former First Lady Michelle Obama, who is in with Kevin Hart and some other people who are just telling people, step out to vote, because your vote is in your power. The power you have over governance or a particular government is vote. If we should vote, if you should champion a number of people to vote, there is going to be a change. They are really vying for Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is, I don't think that man cannot really stand.
And remember that he also has Kamala Harris, who is running mate. It's a powerful, especially when we are in the year. It looks like this year 2020 we have seen a lot of women coming out. We have seen a lot of black people also trying to get it out there. It's there now. If we are looking at black people in the entertainment industry in the US who are also championing that, we've seen Tyler Perry, who recently became a billionaire. We are seeing black people go up there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden.
For surprise, not. The black people, they are a minority in the States.
Right.
They are not. They are about 40 million blacks in the States.
Right. They are more than.
Oh, they will not be more than 40 million.
Right.
I think the last time I checked, that was some years ago, there were 40 million. So by all means, there will be an increase. But Joe Biden is not someone who is like that strong,
right, to
face Trump. Trump does not play fair.
Trump doesn't play fair because I believe Trump. The whole thing about, and even people say that Trump doesn't play fair, just like the way you say. He likes to play on color. He likes to play on money. He likes to play with the mind. So, and he's a little bit authoritative. That I see. I have seen. When there are media, especially when he's facing media, he'll be like, shut up, sit down, don't ask me any more questions. Take one. I do understand. But remember that there are some of the whites who are also against him because if we have whites who are getting married to blacks all the time. They do also have children who will grow up and they might be choosing to marry a black man. Definitely you having a black man in your family or somebody who is of mixed race in your family is high. So we have things like that coming on. And if at this point, amidst all of this, Trump wins, I will be surprised.
I will not be surprised because it happened last 4 years.
Last 4 years.
Hillary led the polls. So the last minute, just Ochina, we are going to tell the leader, the winner. The next day, Adechi and then Trump overtook.
I do get you. I really do get you. But I think this year people were saying that there was some foul play in the U.S. elections and all that. But I'm hoping that this year the Democrats would bring their guard up and also know that, I personally don't have a stand when it comes to Trump and Joe Biden, but I believe in a world where everybody finds the leverage to shine. Color shouldn't be a basis for somebody enjoying much more privilege. Something that they call the white privilege, where white people enjoy more privilege than black people. Especially when you go to South Africa,
where the whites are staying, that is Johannesburg and all those things.
You don't have.
When you come to the blacks, Pretoria and all those things,
so,
even their buildings.
Right, it's even different. So if it is going to be that, if it is, somebody said that if it's going to be that, then they should return all our gold and all our precious material. People really say stuff, and people really do say stuff, and I read them all the time online, and it's amazing, because you took these people from their homes. You took these people from their homes.
Yeah.
Took them into bondage. Took them into bondage. Worked for you. And the White House was even built by black people.
Everything blacks.
After taking us, it wasn't enough. They took our minerals. They took the most important part of us, that is ourselves, there. For so many years, we have been under bondage, and even some of the African countries are even still under bondage. They are indirect bondages.
Yeah.
We have been through it all. We served your children, cleaned for you. We were slaves while your children were in school. And we have been able to be through it all. And I think they should just know that you can never stop a black man.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You can never stop a black man.
All the dirty jobs, it's the black men that do the jobs.
You can never stop a black man. Black. Somebody said Jesus Christ is black. I wouldn't believe. I wouldn't believe Jesus Christ is white, and I wouldn't believe Jesus Christ is black either.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to look at current maps as to where Jesus Christ was born and all that, and Revelation describing Jesus Christ having hair like cotton, which I know that it is only black people whose hair go like cotton. I would want to believe Jesus Christ is a black man, but till I die and I see Jesus Christ,
well,
I think I can.
If Jesus Christ cannot be white, if he's not black, he cannot be white.
He could be mixed race.
He could be mixed race, because there's the area in which the story is about. We don't find white people over there.
Right.
So he can't.
Right.
He's
Because
not.
black's mentality.
But it's mental, and I feel like Christianity in a way to do affect this kind of things, because we see white people showing us movies where we have white Jesus, we have books that comes out. We even go to certain churches and we see a picture of the man who played Jesus.
Yeah.
In the picture Tareho, Oko be them, hey Jesus not Tare me them no, and all that. And all that.
That's the whole.
Now, according to the originators of the Jesus story, they said that they actually selected it according to the face print that was marked on the white cloth that that was used to clean Jesus's face, and you can get the structure of it, but you can't get the color of it.
No.
No.
You
know what? Let's go and say we are ready for December polls. Police assures ahead of December polls, and about 1,000 personnel from various units of the Ghana Police Service marched through some of the principal streets of Accra yesterday on confidence building exercise to assure the public that they are ready after enduring the December 7th general election. Then floods cut off Saboba from the northern region. Now, all 252 communities of the Saboba in the northern region has been cut off from the rest of the region by flood waters after the river Jamboabo overflowed 8 banks. We saw some BC candidates who went through it.
Yeah, and I saw some woman 57 years who completed it.
Yes, she was also really making waves on that also. So I think
let's talk about give a little point about those nurses and midwives.
Yes, so I'm really surprised. I was really about saying that.
When I was coming this morning at Amasama, I could see some patients and where they were coming from, and when they came, there wasn't any nurses and
Well.
You could see
I
that
personally,
the government has to.
I personally do stand. I do stand with nurses. I have friends who are nurses. I have friends who are midwives, and according to them, as of yesterday, I was reading a story that the accountants in the hospitals and the HR do not pay hospital bills for themselves and their families. They do enjoy some sort of privileges. But why, if a nurse area, they buy area or buy hospital like a normal person? So why, if our health sector is really important to us, why then do we have to neglect the whole center of it? The whole center of healthcare is around nurses, because for a doctor is to review, examine, and pass whatever treatment he wants to pass. It is the nurses that ensure that the patient is okay. Now, I was watching a documentary on how some of the nurses who have been assigned to for the polio vaccination, some of the things they do go through. They go through waters, and some of the nurses are supposed to hold infusion at the back of an aboboya for up to 4 hours till they get to a hospital in rural areas, especially in the northern regions. Now, the nurses are not really asking for more. Now, somebody was saying that, what are these nurses looking for, especially in this coronavirus season where they have been given, I think, an extra 50% of their salary in addition to what they already do take, or in some other incentives and all that. But the thing is, they are just asking to be treated fairly. Yeah. I do agree with them. Now, there are doctors who are also standing with nurses and midwives, because it is a high time. The only language, I always say that the only language that government listens to is demonstrations and strike.
I think the Minister for Health, Honorable.
Now the nurses have actually been asked to return to the negotiation table, which I believe that
I think even the 14th of January, when I was coming, I was listening to it on the radio, and they were like, 14th of January, they went to sit with the government. And their whole issue is, there are some nurses and midwives that they don't really have anything, they don't have any social life. Apart from their work. Like, you go to
because
some
of their
hospitals.
schedules.
You go to their hospitals, and they are the only nurses over there. 24/7, they have to be there. So they are asking for certain incentives from the government, and the government is telling them that go and take it from your hospitals, wherever you work, let them pay you. Like, they've agreed that you are due that money, but let the hospital pay it for you. And the hospital is not paying it as well. And that is why they are going on strike.
Now, the reason why some of these hospitals are not really do paying the nurses, when you go into ask, they will tell you, oh, National Health, she can buy you. Say, National Health, she can buy. Some of these things, I always say that, public hospital. I'll go to a private hospital. The reason being that, with a National Health cry, some of these things, when you talk about some of these things on radio, people feel like, oh, you are not being this. But that is the truth. Means now say and try to use all of these things, whilst I know there are people suffering. It got to a point in Ghana where you go to certain hospitals that are National Health Insurance Scheme accredited, and they'll be like, the patron National Health. And out of the first time I experienced National Health was when my kid brother wasn't feeling well, and we took him to a hospital, and he was supposed to be given, I think, malaria medication in suspension. I won't say malaria, he was supposed to be given your money penny dear say young poto na yen fancy from an yes edu we yen chem how would we be able to store edu ayachem how safe is it for a dry yachemumienu. No, how safe is it? You know, sometimes some of these things, you know, yes, because you know, some of these things, you know, we always tend to give a blind eye to it. We give a blind eye. We feel like, oh, Ghana has said, yeah, no, it's not true. You will interview big people, and they will be like, oh, it is supposed to be so. They have done this. Government is ensuring that is do this. But the truth is that is not what is going on in the grounds. On the grounds of it, or that is not what is going on. That is not what is going on the grounds. When you go and interview these nurses and all that, you know, they tell you, when you interview people who are at the hospital, who have national health, they tell you, national health, nekra, nanso they bad this, nanso they bad that. It will be a trade drawbacks a 5 amount. National health only has 1. You see, yeah, the picky for and been afford a pay.
Someone right now, they'll tell you, oh, it's working.
Right.
Everything we've
right.
Paid them,
right.
we do that.
Right.
So the nurses are saying that the government should include those incentives, like it should be part of their income.
Right.
Directly, not that they should go and take it from the hospital. And that's the reason why they are on strike.
Right. So I think we can wrap up for newspaper review today. Okay. Okay, please give the birthday wishes.
Madam Elizabeth Safo.
Okay.
Safo, yes. Yesterday was his birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
From his son, Mr. Yao Achampon Amwa, at Lands Commission in Sunyani.
Wow.
Wish his mother happy belated birthday.
Wow.
And I wish his mother too happy belated birthday.
Yes.
Madam Elizabeth Safo, God should protect you, give you more longevity of life.
Right. That's life.
Yes.
Yesterday
I couldn't do that because of the holiday.
Okay.
But as today that we are here.
All right. Okay. Are you also a September born? When is your birthday?
That was last week Friday. Last 2 weeks Friday.
You never told me.
No, I didn't meet you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
I wish.
So happy belated birthday, same way. For me, I celebrate my birthday month long. I said my birthday is on 15th January. So I finish on 14th February. Then I'm done. 1st February. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So this is how we wrap up newspaper review. Up next is sports. Stay tuned.
Nothing less, lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand
stand up for the champions, for the champions.
Okay, so when you hear stand up, you know you're standing up for the sportsman, David Prince, who is in the studios with us, all set, and then time now for Honka Kra. And so we are still on. Prince, now, Ija, Apo me.
Boko, we be Boko. Now, sir.
I say, the divine selection chairs, and I say, well, we
Oka first 11.
sir. Now, you're nominated to ORTP Awards, into sports for the sports presenter, sports show host
of the year.
Yes.
Radio guy
Online.
We see presenters, no.
Yes.
Voting if you status said that Facebook will be a media tour, short code Uber dial star 365 star 300 hash. Until you are no enter code M32 now amount we say 2010 now with your share on now so also there can
Mr. Media can the Rise Up morning show. Yeah, and also the same procedure star 365 star 300 hash. And the code near M64.
To go to M64 50, I know what to M32
50. And Yankasa Radio Guy Online. So yes, so radio online radio station of the year star 365 star 300 hash. The code is M16.
Yeah, and I call radio guy where is best CEO this one. And also
yes, and also almost a drive time host of the year. And also star 365 star 300 hash. The same procedure. So if you want to see more details, you can log on to our Facebook. All of our live pictures are there, so you can see them. Then you can vote for us. Remember, you have to keep voting, and a vote costs
50
pesos each.
50
pesos each.
10 cry 5 CDs. 20 CDs.
50 pesos.
Who does get 250 Ghana? What we boo machine?
Radio guy Francis is your moody and don't make my bidder. Why you be my own and I said, oh, I'm rotating now, person to my and I say, get in touch with any of the presenters or send Ucha to Mana. No, the ascend details ascend. So thank you so much. Say, Damas, say. Money but this one way dear one your mind you what's me one your name your face
and the wait me I want you renew Prince in some of the Ghana Premier League now back clubs in the Sunday Penny President Nana Akufo-Addo don't quite Kasai LP League now says football betting our Ghana by supporters from 25% and betting our content any year what GF so by the moon seminal ebe bro but I'm found say I said yeah I shall say I'm on him na ye will fear intermon seminal the wild team Manchester Omulusu 3-1 Brighton Manchester Basa Manchester players who share born on Munemu in our Google Omutimi John Chelsea su any Liverpool Chelsea 2 and some Lampard sign is our sign be brain way end of the paper and no be here as to share that Lampard super oh who the other no because the keeper no so ending but omudin temikapa Alco France René so as go from keeper Mendes amana Mandi go from Mandi amana babechi amomo wie bibia ankasa omune no ehwe se be wa betwin e dia mom e wo no eno England for so aso na come see 1st October on bebie stadium na ma fans no na o ma ba behwe bonya ba mu call cabinet no si debi ntu omno fanya ma ntutu yie ansana on bebie e dia ma fans e na coaches no and a clubs ni CEO na sorry cause ade ama share boy ya preparation mo say etu a share that dey nkra na aba mu tu shire aman pii bi ama mo fans no ekokwohwe bonta na England dem ma share data ma san atu a share go for pia fra BBC e no ma twetwe komo e ma cho so cabinet ni so mu di bibi abetu mejet enko do 30th of October de na omo wie bibi abande ombe press conference no me decide say na omo be ye no be cheche mu a che empenyufo no e wo honum nti England de England so na nsem no efi ba England so aso ye so de nsem bebre magic sisi pa record set record the break Abrante Thiago Alcantara in the first match Obama Liverpool Obama substitute Obama 75 passes and a passes so my code through outside the box in 56 passes and on my recorder England since 2003-2004 Abrante Alcantara the 45 minutes about the breaking the record England and then no boy agent to say hey na say oba na oye nyamasa na de we nim nu de omuntimi hwe Abrante no so de ba betu dwa say oba England na kase manu two options say Manchester United and Liverpool on to the obelum on to shop so we need trophies pa shop Manchester team na emboa no enti na manu ko san ma Liverpool oni omutwu ma wa ye nyama yi ama omupa England so ani e won weekend matches need to dwa Timo Werner Ekasayo or England match tough by Chen when you say as time goes on Kai Havertz any or as time goes on no say ni players here China policy cheba when you say team need there ebe ye ankasa ebe ye then England for no so ya matches ebe to dwa while team Manchester United omo bo Luton Town omo ko awem ni Luton Town e go third team so any Luton Orient and ebe bo eno e Carabao Cup Omuba besi akan ewo honum 19p Spain for aso ye Abrante Vidal Antonio Vidal was sending goodbye message amaba so na press fan wakwa go pio Italy ankasa Inter Milan oni omu NBC akan abo Inter Milan sign official man so na bibi aso na Suarez eno call Italy eko ye ni medicals na some sim bibia omu wi enom ni passport ni citizenship ni there omu ntimi fa man it was this any side na Odeni eke Atletico Madrid for so no Abrante Alvaro Morata kwa kopio Juventus all checha fon say ye bibi okwa ko bolu na momti Morata kon ebe bie kwan ama Luis Suarez na wako ama oni Atletico Madrid for akwa kosi aka Atletico Madrid for so ba kosi aka mom Barcelona for say dey bi omo mpene na Atletico Madrid share omo ha omo point akabe ya Suarez entunebo na Odini ni be chobe fufu na odi ache ba Atletico Madrid for so ekas na sana mo be kada ya mama Abrante Griezmann ya dream you no tell na be fa Suarez mo kasa ehun sa ntenu tu ensema ewo mo twitwi ahwe se bibia to edi Suarez obo ko si aka ma Atletico Madrid na oni omo ayo juma boom Barcelona for former player Ivan Rakitic what the announcement about the retirement about the Croatian national team so wayebi odomo ko World Cup final ba o man di France ehwe eje o si wayebi ama Croatia pa anti no de ni career no ba end ewo Croatia national team no so na ndra matches to jo ewo EPL ni mu Man City and Wolves Man City show mu 3-1 and Aston Villa so any Sheffield United but Aston Villa e show mu 1-0 almost edenya 3 points almost first match almost boy na yendra almost menya 3 points the Premiership need over first 5 table no Leicester City over 6 points with 5 goals and Everton after 6 points with 4 goals Arsenal after 6 points with 4 points with 4 goals Liverpool after 6 points with 3 goals and Crystal Palace after Ogunzu after 6 points with 3 goals or that 5th Leicester City first Everton second Arsenal third Liverpool fourth Crystal Palace 5th and Premiership in sema wo ba me fa say e ba fi ni fa fi so nsem embra weekend we anti asem de e Ghana football for so e coach football and players on kwakoye registration e wo offense omo kon e so mo car no driver ni still an echo ebuke mo say dey ma o di ko share nsu offense river ni ama players 30 players 6 nkolo mo di 12 years and 15 years 6 and omo akoto na nanu mo e wo ntino omo ma kan so play ya show mo e hospital onu ma ye be si bia ye be ba on so na GF4 omo so akoko share almost the same to just say Nkolana Omo their harm because of Ghana football registration co register and a man san same we buy into Omuni na omu yi omu pay man to pay be true omunina obi anfa ni sa enka ni sika omu ko e dia kwa akoma ebusuafo no omu mba no enya bi aka no e dia kwa akoma omu ntia na GF phone sam na omu dia to no asanti kotokofo so aso ende omu unveil omu management team 11 o'clock sports hotel Kumasi but omu say strictly invited ntia invite you ya men ko honum ntia ende no be unveil omu when I branch Ghana near branch Oko Ayasa here ni G Emma Ghana for any Nima for or your Nima branch and any G Pan Kudos Mohammed. I asked for first match to see come I say we need 3 goals today. Now boy branch any boy so we need and just say catch he no man king match no boy no man king of the match. Branch Kudos say I need the pan Jumani there a door so oba be no be Jumani pan away po efficiency no na dey cause so ebe ni de on kan chamo amudi moni ebe hu de ekos no nteme fa de be soro su e wo fie sem na Ghana football is back clubs ni ni aje obi ani aje oba now comes to 30th of October and on start Ghana Premier League ba ebi mu say teams ni pi so raise allegation so and come 20 December o mu sha say na November ending so no meet ma bo abo mbe ye train any nyama ba o mo resume o ma be start 30th the players ni bi wa what na fi on bobo onye hwe nti no omo ahun keka na mba sha but ko mu pa GF fo acho say omo ntwen na nka December no anko mo fa league but GF fo nso omo de be ko edemu no makwa ko June wa hwe say omo kan to as become some person mu stakeholders for no na anko mo fa more sponsorship embrem nti no eno na ye nsem e wo omo twetwe hwe say be ye yi a e bia December na omo de be so anko ye su de na October na omo de e ba be to on by Ebeko boxing no to Ghana for Duke Maker onu ba be cool title fight champion world title fighter every September we more Ebeko to Ghana for nyina bompa e di shine e wishing all the best say obetimi the title no abra Ghana anu Duke Maker okay. Your correct boxer your friend Young Floyd Mayweather
and then I want in
there pa
that was say and so on the sports all the sports are brain and then the time maybe a time in the copine the akin united be short okay that's it and that is how we wrap up for today's edition of the Rise Up Morning Show. Well, it has been really a long session today. Thank you so much for joining us, and also follow us on Facebook and also on Instagram at Radio Guy Online. And don't forget to keep voting for us. Visit our Facebook page for all the details. And let's bring this one home. My name is Judith Emefa Bafa. And I will catch you same time tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.